Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Lots of different things going on in the garden, and today I thought let me go ahead and update you guys, and we'll get a couple things done as well. Now it's a really hot and dry, windy day here today, so around this time of day all the plants look a little droopy anyway, so don't be surprised when you see that. Firstly, in one of my previous videos I had a bunch of cabbages that bolted and I had 2 left. And so what I did was I went ahead and put some shade cloth over the cabbages just in order to save them, and let me show you what's going on. Just look at these big, gigantic beauties. And as you can see, it does look like it's coming to a head. I don't see any bolting or anything. And this right here is the actual seed of this plant, you guys. And it still amazes me how this tiny little thing turns into this huge cabbage. Just look at that. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up again in the shade cloth. This is one of the gourds that I recently transplanted, and as you can see, it's taking into its home really well, starting to climb the stake. This is a bitter gourd. Onions and shallots are doing really well. Some of them are starting to send up flower stalks, which means it's ready to harvest. And over here I've been keeping all of my seedlings. I still haven't yet planted everything out yet. I started and I've done a few here and there whenever I'm getting time, but they're doing really well here under the net. They're protected from any bugs. These are all my tomatoes, and as you can see, they're getting pretty tall. They're way too big for their cells, so I need to get these planted up pretty much immediately. And I'm going to plant up a couple tomatoes with you guys today and kind of show you my plan for this year. And here, you guys, is my soda cup garden. So these are Sun King broccoli, but as you can see, no bug damage or anything. The leaves are looking nice and healthy. I'm just having to stay on top of watering really well just because our weather is so harsh. And these are actually the all-season cabbage that are going to go in too. Doing really well in that McDonald's cup method. I'm so happy with this method, you guys. Definitely going to use it way more in the following seasons. And my hollyhocks are getting ready to bloom, you guys. Look at those long, beautiful stems. This is their second year in the garden. And you can see some of the roses in the back. Some of the blooms are starting to fade just because it's kind of so hot now. Right here, the large peppers are peppers that I've overwintered and just recently planted them back into the garden. And then alongside them, these are transplants that I've started this year. Usually you can put 2 pepper plants pretty close together. My family has been doing that for years and it works really well. So that's one way that you can optimize your growing space. Here are the potatoes I did a while ago. They're growing vigorously, doing pretty good. I'm going to have to come through and hill them up pretty soon, which means I'll just add more soil to the bottom there up the stems. Here's my peach tree, you guys. Look at all those lovely little peaches setting. I did come through and try to thin them out a little bit. It was very difficult for me to do, and it's a small fruit tree, so I didn't want to thin them out way too much or anything. I tried my best, but usually I'll just let it go and harvest small peaches and they taste fine. They're not amazing, but they are fine, and we'll just see how things turn out this year with the little bit of thinning that I did. Here's my broccoli in full bloom. As you can see, they are looking kind of pretty. They are making seed pods. This is an example right here. These long things right here, those are the seed pods that I should be able to harvest seeds from pretty soon. They are attracting a lot of beneficial insects, like that little fly that you see right there. A lot of the aphids are just gravitating towards these plants and leaving my other plants alone, which is also a benefit. And the pollinators love these flowers. So all in all, I think it was worth it to just let the broccoli fully come to bloom and finish up here. So I'll be removing these, and as you saw, I have a bunch of broccoli started in cups that'll probably just take their place very soon. It's so hot, you guys. I found some shade, and the final thing that I want to do with you guys today is plant up a couple tomatoes in this area. So as you saw, I have a bunch of tomatoes. So I'm going to be giving a majority of those away. I'll fit in what I can over here. Most of them are indeterminate tomatoes, which means they'll grow really tall, maybe even 7 to 10 feet tall or something like that. So each tomato is going to need an ample amount of space. I've marked this area in my raised bed garden where I'm planning to put the tomatoes. I've marked it off into square foot sections, but what I'm going to do probably is I'm going to probably allow or try to allow each tomato to have at least like 1.5 to 2 square feet. I'll be putting stakes in, which I'll show you right now, and then I'll have the tomatoes growing up the stakes, and I'll do my best to prune them down to keep them kind of contained. That way every plant has good airflow and sunlight exposure. But let's get started. Let me show you what I have going on right now. So these white tags, I've measured approximately 12 inches from each tag to kind of mark each square foot section or so. I realize that these tomatoes are gonna become so big one day. They're looking really puny right now, but they grow so vigorously and so tall that they're gonna need an ample amount of space. So what I'm doing is I have one tomato here. We're gonna skip one of the tags, and then we're gonna go with the next tomato in the next tag right here. That's kind of how we're going to do it throughout this raised bed, and there's going to be stakes near the tomatoes too that it'll grow on. I'm going to keep it as simple and easy as possible because there's a lot of plants and I don't always have a lot of time or space. We're just going to optimize what we have. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and pre-plan where I'm going to put the tomatoes. I'll drive the stakes in, and then we'll plant a couple up together. Right now I'm just watering the tomato plants so they get really good hydration as they go into their new home. So as you can see, guys, it's not perfect right now. They're not all straight or anything, and I don't intend it to be, but it's definitely going to help me with like visualizing and spacing where my tomatoes are going to go. Kind of exciting just thinking about the potential here and what it's going to grow into. But I'm going to go through and adjust the stakes and just kind of evenly space things out just to give every tomato adequate room. And then once I'm happy with the position, I'm going to just tap them in with a mallet just to make sure they're nice and sturdy. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's plant up a couple tomatoes. Alright guys, and that's about it. Still have a bunch more to go. Like I said, I don't really have room for all of these seedlings. I just hate things to go to waste. So I will be giving a bunch of these away. But the stakes are looking pretty cool over there. I'm excited to see how this all fills up. It's going to look so cool, I think. And one more thing, I made sure to go around and leave enough room to where I can go in and still harvest. I didn't crowd things in too much. The stakes are about like 1.5 to 2 feet away from each other, so I think it's going to work well. I'll try to stay on top of pruning and I think it's going to look like a really good outcome. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Like and share with your friends, and subscribe so you can see how this project ends up turning out, and continue to follow the journey of my tomatoes here. And guys, I will keep you posted, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.